what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Tamar Charmaine.
Hey, and it's Will.
And we're back with another review of Married at First Sight, season 14. And I believe this is
Awesome.
episode 5. Look at me knowing the episode. All right, so let's get into it. You already know we're going to talk about the most controversial couple first because that's why everyone's here, right?
Indeed.
So we're going to talk about Alyssa and Chris.
I thought, I thought Lindsay
Alyssa,
and
no,
Lindsay,
no.
it can go up. I think it could go any way.
No,
this season.
Alyssa and Chris are the most
Yeah, we
controversial.
know.
She was like, I'm trying to be optimistic, and okay, you're the most pessimistic, most shallow person this show has ever seen, and I've been watching the show for a long time. And then I was laughing because she woke up in the double room, the double beds. Good. They gave Chris the honeymoon suite. They need to kick her out, but I know years back there was like a rumor that said that they have to fulfill these episodes.
Yeah.
Because and the reason why I'm wearing these sunglasses, guys, is because I'm still having eye issues, but I'm much better. Hopefully next week, I will have. Well, hopefully next week my eyes will be better, but and I don't have to wear these sunglasses, all right? But yeah, so so she was basically if they don't finish the season or finish a certain amount of episodes, then they owe the show money because each couple they're in contract because each couple is assigned a certain set of producers and cameramen. Yeah. So if someone quits, now those people who got into a work contract, now the show will owe them money because they got into a work contract to work for a certain amount of weeks, and so that's why they kind of forced them to at least do certain things, like with Chris and Paige.
Yeah,
they'll film like separately, or other couples that have had issues, and that's because those people don't want to owe production money.
So they'll show up. They have their little show ups and things like that.
Exactly.
All right, so let's continue on with these two.
Okay, so
you said you was mentioning you was happy they gave him the suite.
Yes, and they gave her the low budget room.
Yeah, I thought what was interesting to me. I said to myself, "Oh wow, a fun moment. They're both on a boat. They're in the water. Then I got hit with the dun dun dun, and next thing you know, she just like complaining about like I don't want him next to me in the water.
Every little thing this man does is gonna irk her because she does not want to be with him.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that episode of A Different World where Whitley was dating that guy with the mole, and like at first it was just like a little something, then like the more she like dated him, like the mole started like really bothering her, and it wasn't even something that big of a deal, but like when you really like something's really a turn off, the smallest thing could be like the biggest turn off.
What bothered me the most was when she told the producers to keep him away. I thought like she's a
disgusting human
even
being.
To protect your image. Oh, I'm not this bad person, I'm such a good person, when even Lindsay laughs at her about.
Yeah.
To say something like that, I thought was very like kind of disrespectful in a way, especially to be on national TV and say, "Oh, tell him don't come over here. Tell him don't come over
exactly. Here." It's disgusting, and the thing is, Chris is not an ugly man. He's
wait. He may not be ugly,
but he's not ugly.
But I was kind of looking like, what could be wrong with this guy? You
know
what I mean?
It's his teeth.
Well,
his nerdiness. He's a herb.
I feel like everything she didn't want to be wrong with a man was him. Like even if we go back to the tattoo where she wanted to see, like first of all she was told a soulmate, which is a huge issue within itself.
Yeah, but before we even get there, I just want to say that she's making herself. She's a Karen. Mm-hmm. She's a grade A Karen. She is making herself the victim when we clearly see she's the aggressor. She's the bully. She's everything. She is the drama, and she says she's tired of being the bigger person. She is not the bigger person. She is the little person in this situation, and we've been so going back to what you were saying with Chris and the psychic.
Yeah.
So we watched the after party with Keisha Knight Pulliam, aka Rudy from the Huxtables, and in the after party it was mentioned that her sidekick actually saw someone described to be Steve, as in Noise Steve.
Yes.
And so
her mind was already set.
Yes, but the thing is, I said she was looking for like a Johnny Depp. She's already a shallow human being. None of her friends are in relationships. They all said they can't keep a relationship. So you are the company that you keep. No shade, no tea if that's you, but it's true.
And I feel like she's trying to blame the three amigos. She's trying to blame them, saying that they got it wrong.
The experts. No, they didn't have it wrong. What happened, Alyssa, you perpetuated yourself to be a good person, a rescue person, and you lied to the experts just like you lied to your family. That's why you were upset that Chris told your family the truth. I was on Reddit and somebody who does rescues said, oh, she's a nice person. No, she is not a nice person. She's an evil person.
Well,
and what she does, she's fake. She puts on a mask to the rest of the world, and she's fake.
But what we can see, what the other contestants can't see, because even what's her name?
Katina. But Katina is the only one that says that she's nice.
No, but what I'm saying is, remember, next week we'll be able to see she's finally within the group, and now that relationship is more open. I think right now it's still hidden, like only certain people may
see.
But as a group setting, it will be the first time it's displayed. And if you notice, she said something like, oh, he's trying to make me out to spoil her image. But I was doing some hard thinking, and I said, if I could say someone Chris looks like, and I'm sorry to say this, he may not be an ugly version of this. For example, if I say he looks like Bambi, I'm not saying he looks like an ugly Bambi. He looks like a cute Bambi.
So what does he look like?
I'm sorry. First I thought, all right, he looks like a groundhog, but then I was like, he actually looks like a hedgehog.
Hedgehog.
Yeah, a hedgehog.
All right, so I'm gonna put a picture right here, tell us what you think in the comments.
Like there was a cartoon one time called Once Upon a Forest. Remember that? Or even
it's because his head goes like this.
Yeah, and he looks like he can be a hedgehog. So I'm sorry,
but
maybe not an ugly one. But she can. I'm sure I can find a cartoon. I
feel so bad because he's another page. He was apologize. There's nothing that he needs to apologize for, and I saw some comments online or whatever of people saying that the experts need to look at the exes of people they match up. The experts do. They years ago on a matchmaking special, they say they actually look at the people's exes and see, okay, they've been with this type of look before, so we can this is the realm of who we should match them up with. So I think a lot of times certain people can only get a certain type of person, and they go on this show to finally get the person they always wanted, and they get pissed.
You know what I also think? Like the experts, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what sometimes can be a deal breaker for some people? I think the experts can find something perfect about someone, and then they'll find that one deal breaker and try to somehow some way like shape it where like they try to tuck it in a way, like they try to like say, hey, if you meet this person,
that's true.
Will you change what, they'll try to throw something out there to make them match or have that. You know how sometimes a puzzle, you try to fit it in, and it's that one little corner that...
But there's a reason why all these people were single in the first place, and they had red flags, they had deal breakers, and that's why they had to go on the show. And now I'm seeing people saying, oh, they need to match people in their 40s. First of all, I started watching the show when they only were matching people in their 20s. And everybody said, no, get older. Yeah. The earlier seasons, everybody was in their 20s. Yeah. Now, for the past couple of seasons, they've been mostly matching people in their 30s.
I kind of like that.
Now, late 30s.
Because I'm in my 30s, so...
We're married, and we've been together since
still,
college. We'll be quiet. So, honestly, it has nothing to do, I don't think, with age. Because since they've had older people, that's the craziest stuff that's been happening on the show since they've had older people, because I feel like all those people are 35, 37, 38 years old, 36, 34. Youngest ones on the show is now 29. You might find a Michael who's 27. They get on the show and they are single for that long for a reason. They had to get on a show to find them somebody
So are you saying the younger ages work better?
I feel like there's certain stuff like you can't teach an old dog new tricks.
So you're
And
saying
so
like if
I
someone's set in their ways, I disagree with that.
no, but I'm saying is
Because the thing is, the
the
old people
craziest
probably done experienced something
and
already.
that's why they're single. Because okay, so we were having, I think you
But
were
that's
having a
that's for
conversation.
every age though.
No, because all right, so we're both in our 30s, right?
Yeah.
And all my friends that are still single, all of Will's friends who are still single, all have
you can't
big
compare
red flags.
Us to
No. But what I'm saying is,
world.
okay, well,
Go ahead.
so you and your friends were having a conversation too. Well, then your friends are still looking for somebody, and you guys were saying how, man, it's a tough time to find somebody right now because the best time to find somebody would have been in your 20s. You would have found them in college. You would have found them, when you're young, which is true because the majority of our friends that are married met in college or in their early 20s, mid 20s, mostly early 20s, and then now they're married. Now, when 30s can be a good age because now you have some people who are divorced and now you can date the divorcees and stuff like that. But for the people who are in their mid 30s, mid to late 30s, never married, don't have a child, never in a serious relationship, like never in a serious relationship, that is a big red flag. You mean to tell me that you could not find one person? So, and I'm not trying to be shady, I'm not, but there is something there. There's something there. And I could.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, like, you know what I mean? It's something there. And this is not to be shady towards somebody, because maybe this can help you out to reflect on, okay, what is something that is keeping me? What is a way about me that's keeping me? If you want to be married, what is something that's keeping me from? Is there a complaint that everybody has? So I think the most dramatic married at first sight has been since they've been matching older people.
Okay, I disagree with that, but I do hear your point. Any other thoughts? We should move on.
Sorry.
Let us know what you think, please.
Let us know in the comments.
I would love to pick back up on that next week, depending on what we hear from you guys. But let us know about what you think about relationships, the age, and yeah. So let's. Okay,
so I think that so Chris is definitely another page, and I said about the psychic.
Yeah, let's just move on to the next person.
Okay, well we know she's not interested at all. Wait.
At all.
She then she had a temper tantrum. Because he gets worse, and said he gets worse each day. That's when she said, "Don't even come here." Oh, I wanted to catch this. So there was a point where when the part you were talking about when she told the producers, "Don't even let him come here, come near," where the producer asked her what she wanted to do, and she said, "Leave." And the thing is that why would you come on the show if you want to leave, right? Like, why are you there? Like, just pay them people their money.
At this point, she's triggered. She triggered herself. And any little thing about Chris, like, just upsets her, throws her off. And she's putting this all on the experts. She's putting this all on the show, the producers, instead of like just looking at it and like, you know what? Let me give this a try and see what the experts saw that I didn't see. But she's looking at his appearance and she's making that.
And my thing, and I don't mean to keep talking about this girl's mama, but her mama is fat. She has no... I'm not trying to be mean. She had a nerve to sit up there on TV and talk about this man's body. Meanwhile, you do not come from skinny people. You have to work hard for the body that you have. Let gravity take hold of your body in another 10 years, and let's see what happens to you. You have no right to talk about somebody's shape when you come from people that look like that.
Anyway, let's move on.
I was so serious with that. Like, she had the nerve.
Hopefully she sees this.
She had the nerve.
Hopefully she sees this.
Like, she is not a prize.
Can we move on, please?
All right. So... we're gonna go to. You wanna go to Lindsay and Mark?
Let's save some goodness. Let's go to being that they're gonna be quick.
No, people come here. People come here for the drama.
Okay, fine. Who's next?
Lindsay and Mark.
But we're gonna give them.
Everybody else.
We're gonna give them corny people at the end. We
only
gotta
one
save a good.
only one couple is corny at this point, and they're not corny. They're
Okay,
actually
okay. So that means we're saving Katina and Olajuwon for last then.
no, because they had drama too.
We can't save a borrowed couple for last.
People come here for the drama.
Okay. Anyway.
All right. So
let's go.
Let's go to Lindsay and Mark.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, these two are weirdos.
Yeah, but I think Mark is trying. I don't see Mark as a weirdo. He may have that look like this.
This man had a whole suitcase full of goldfish, and they was sitting there talking about eating goldfish 24 hours, and then Lindsay was talking about, oh, you ever put milk with your goldfish? I don't know if she was serious. Girl, I hope you weren't serious.
The only one thing that raised a question mark about me with Mark is he was literally just dating before the show. He was in a relationship during COVID, I believe. He said he was dating.
No. He talked about his past relationships.
Yeah.
And so he has a history of dating toxic women like Lindsay. He had a serious girlfriend that was an alcoholic. Then he had one who got pregnant by her ex. So he has a serious issue with these toxic Lindsay-like women. And we already know his mother is toxic. So now they have him with a toxic wife. So there might be things that she does that triggers him, but then also he can handle her. But I think because he thought he was so extroverted and he was the man until he met Lindsay and was like, oh crap. And that I think that scares him because she might be the craziest.
So two things I want to talk about with Lindsay, the boat, and then
with Katina,
and then what Mark promised her.
The thing.
A romantic dinner.
Okay,
romantic dinner.
Before we get into that, real quick, we noticed that she had an engineer fetish.
Oh yeah, she did.
And she felt triggered and yeah, so he said that he was a lot. She was a lot. Mark said she was a lot.
But that's
and
gonna
he said
that's
he
gonna
could
lead
not breathe.
That's gonna lead to the dinner.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
So let's start with the boats.
Okay.
So obviously Katina.
All right. So let's lay it out.
Go ahead, lay it out.
So the couples went on an excursion on a boat. The men are doing whatever, talking on the island, and the women are on the boat. Now go.
So yeah. Lindsay was just laying it out there. I felt like at this moment, she was being what's the word I'm looking for? She was like, being
free.
No, but she was like being like vulnerable.
Yes.
She was being vulnerable to the women. I felt in this moment she was like being honest, laying it on a line, like what happened to her and what happened in the past. So I understand Katina's point about like you're an adult, you the one that triggered this, but I can see where Lindsay is basically saying like, listen, in the past I've had people who were like this, that, and the third, and in that moment it triggered me. Yes, there was drinking that took place. I'm only upset about the fact I felt Lindsay was being vulnerable, and Katina could have saved her remark. But I understand how Katina was feeling in that moment also because Lindsay is too much, and also Katina is triggered by Lindsay. Anything Lindsay say, I think for her hair on out, Katina's gonna be right there to nip that in the bud.
So you know how in the beginning we were saying like Lindsay is the type that will help you hide the body?
Yeah.
Katina is the type that will help you hide the body as well. And so Lindsay met her match, and Katina's like, you're not gonna talk about my man, and it was addressed on the after party.
Yeah.
Keisha Knight Pulliam basically pulled it out, and which is, I think most black people who watch the show probably felt this way, and it's something that's unspoken, where, and this is for people who may watch us that are not black, for you to understand is, because of America, because of quote unquote Karens, a lot of black men have died because of accusations that weren't necessarily the full truth, because of the protection of a white woman crying or saying that she was going to be attacked by a black man. And so, if you are married or with someone, if you are with a black man, or if you have a black son or a black brother, and you are in a situation where there is a white woman, and this is not making a enemy out of all white women, but
Yeah.
if you are in a situation where you are one of very few black people, and there is a white woman, the police are going to believe the white woman. The strangers on the street are going to believe the white woman. And she's saying, he's trying to hit me, he's trying to attack me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, guess what?
Katina.
Katina is no Olajuwon is going to be the one that's in trouble, even though he may not have been the aggressor, even though Lindsay might have been pushing his buttons, even though on that plane, according to the rest of the cast, when they were on the after party show, said that the flight attendant multiple times had to tell Lindsay to put on her mask and to be quiet. At the end of the day, when the cops come, they're gonna look at the big, muscular black man, and he had to have done something to provoke her.
Yeah.
So Katina was trying to protect Olajuwon on that, because she would rather take the hits and have it just be a girl fight than a big black man versus a little blonde woman.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good way to put it. So are we done with this boat scene? Did you have any thoughts? So you wanted to talk about how Mark felt like overwhelmed, right?
Yeah, he said he couldn't breathe. She was a lot, because guess what? He's used to being the main character. He's used to being the center of attention. He's used to being the crazy one.
Honestly, that's kind of how I was before I met you. Yeah, I was used to she come over here rapping and
when you
doing
think
all
you're
this
an alpha, and then you
crazy
meet
stuff.
a real alpha.
Anyway, go ahead, continue.
So he's used to being the center of attention, and not only is she came in like a lion and blows up everywhere she goes, but she has a fight. She has a fight. There's always an argument. There's a flight attendant. They should have included that in the episodes, but a flight attendant having to tell her to put on her mask and be quiet. At their wedding, her laying all over the place, causing a scene. At the altar, she wouldn't let him speak.
Yeah.
Like, there's always something.
So I'm going to tell you, I have one word that describes Lindsay. Dramatic. She's very dramatic. Any little thing that happens, I feel like she wants to be almost like, I was going to say, almost like a more crazier person than the one we know from church. Like, always seeking attention, always want to be the one in the room, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but anyway, yeah, so basically in this scene, Lindsay is upset because she feels like Mark promised her
a romantic dinner, and she also said this in the after party, where the whole day he was like, oh, it's gonna be romantic.
Yeah, he's buttering her up.
Okay, so here's some pretense to that I think what happened. When the men were on the beach talking, they all were talking about taking things slow. They all were Steve talked about, we're gonna talk about Stephen Noy, how he wanted to, like, we just met. And so I think he got a reality check when talking to the other men, like, yo, I've only known this girl for 3 days, and I want to really get to know her. He still liked her, but he realized they were moving way too fast, way too soon, and he already sees the train wreck, and he's trying to stop the train. Honestly, and when he explained to the cameras, he was like, he wanted to tell her that so she wouldn't think he didn't like her anymore. But in the case of Lindsay, certain people, you can't tell them what your move is. You just have to just be slow, and if they see you withdraw, then you explain it. I think
she's so dramatic, and I have witnessed people like that throughout my life.
She's a Hurricane Michaela, Hurricane K Part 2.
You can't tell them anything because they will explode. They'll think the worst of it. She'll think like this guy thinks, Michael.
Yes.
Always thinking the worst.
Yes.
But
she's a hurricane. She's like Michaela from last season, where it's either 0 to 100 and still in between.
I felt bad. I really felt bad for Mark. This scene, but because I understood, but at the same time, Lindsay was right to say to him, if you want me to slow down, then don't be pooping with the bathroom
No,
door
that was
open.
she read it
Don't
from
be
Phil's. Wait, I wrote that down in my notes. I said clogging toilets, farting, eating with the mouth open.
So I mean, she observed everything. Don't sleep
Yeah.
on Lindsay now. There's something about Lindsay that I like. I feel like she's authentic. She's real, and not a lot of people can handle that.
Like I
But
said,
it can be overwhelming
being
sometimes.
from New York, being from the Northeast, all right. They're in Boston, but we're from New York. New York and Boston are like cousins. I've seen a lot of Lindsays
Yeah.
growing up and in my adult life, and so I've seen Lindsay many times. And one thing I can say about the Lindsays, they are, and it's like if you see a crackhead or a alcoholic. Not saying that she's a crackhead or an alcoholic. I'm just saying those people be the realest ones, the ones that's able to know somebody right away. She called out what's her name, Alyssa, at the bachelorette party. She called it.
Yep.
She called it.
Yep.
So a lot of times those type of people
Absolutely.
become the black sheep, or they
Kanye.
or no, that's a whole other story. That's mental illness. But a lot of times those people become the black sheep or end up having alcoholic problems or drug problems because no one could ever understand them, because they see people, they really can x-ray people and see the truth in people. And I believe Lindsay can too, and they have but at the same time, no control of those emotions and not knowing to pull it back.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people don't want to hear what's going on. Sometimes people want to be ignorant because it can be bliss.
I feel like this season, it's
I
a
feel
lot
like
of
she may
dramatic.
kill him too.
It's dramatic. It's a lot of action between the four couples. Just Moy and Steve.
5. No, there was a little
Those are
drama.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
who's next? Katina or
let's
Jasmina?
Let's talk about Michael and Jasmina, because usually we leave them for last.
Okay, Michael and Jasmina.
But there was drama this week, so
there was. I told y'all from day one. My girl Jasmina is not here to play games,
but
she's here to put people in their place.
Okay.
She's here to tell people how it is. There's some things I may not like how she does it, but I respect it. I respect it to the T. I respect how she put her foot down and she's let him know, like, basically, you're gonna watch how you're talking to me. I'm not gonna put up with that. You know, yeah, go ahead. What are your thoughts?
So Michael overthinks. He overthinks, and he overthinks, and it's a cultural thing. I'm Haitian, he's Haitian, and one thing our culture does is overthink. Mm-hmm. But so that's one thing in general. Like, that's culturally, that's something that is true. But then he has had trauma in his life that causes him to overthink
all those deaths
culturally. So it's not even just a cultural thing. Now it's a hem thing as well.
He experienced a lot of
He
trauma.
did, and so he said. So he was like, he feels there's a tip since the wedding day, and Jasmina absolutely adored him up until that point. Like, she didn't have any issues. Jasmina said he was overthinking, and I believe Jasmina also overthinks, because when his sisters told her that he's a pessimistic, basically, she started overthinking about that.
And I think it was
culturally, remember, she's Caribbean too. She's Jamaican, so but I feel like Jamaicans just go more so than Haitians that are just like, will be a little bit slower to the overthinking. But culturally, as Caribbean people, we over.
But I think Jazz, the way she is, like, meaning, like, she's almost blunt in the way she does. She's not gonna hold back. Mm-hmm. And I think that way about her is the part that you're seeing when you said she got the heads up about how he is. Yeah. And she's like, okay, I'm already this type of person. I'm gonna be on top of this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But I think for me, I felt like it was too aggressive versus more coming from a more understanding.
I think that's why I'm happy that Michael was able to express his losses.
Eventually, I'm glad
and express exactly how he felt. Mm-hmm. Because men don't often do that. They don't often find themselves to be vulnerable, and I think because he did grow up and was raised by his sisters and his mom, that he has that vulnerability to open up and just tell her right there and then. It didn't take days and it didn't take weeks for him to go back, and he was honest. And he definitely and like I said this last week, and he see, I'm good at this stuff. He said because of his losses, that might be the reason why he overthinks.
So do you think, I want to know,
Pessimistic.
What do we think happened during the moment where she felt like she was disrespected? Because I mean,
he was they showed it. He was wrong.
No. Remember, she came and she was speaking quietly. She was like, I was talking to Michael. He was yelling at me. He was disrespecting me. Remember, she was like in a low voice and she was telling us how.
Because he was like, that's not the way you're going to apologize. He apologized.
Yeah, they had a little argument about apology, and it's like he thought. So we saw the playback.
I think mentally
she didn't cut him off.
I think what he has is anxiety.
And not only that, though. Remember, so something happened with me and her. I think sometimes, like, men, especially black men, I'm not sure, depending on
especially black men that had traumatic experiences.
It's kind of like a respect thing. You know what I mean? Where I think sometimes can get us in trouble. You know what
guys create a situation that wasn't even
and
there.
I think that's what happened. He felt like she cut him off, and in that moment he wanted.
That's exactly what happened.
He wanted to put his foot down and let his wife know, I'm not gonna put up with this. You're gonna apologize to me, but he was absolutely wrong. And I think once he see the video, the tape,
he's gonna feel bad.
He's gonna feel very bad about that. You know what I mean? And she had every right to stand her ground. I mean, I didn't like all the head nodding and all. She was doing that, like going back and forth, because I even wrote it down. She's doing the old school black girl head nod,
Okay, but he had an attitude, so
we didn't see the attitude. Is what she told us.
Yeah, but I feel like, has Michael gone to therapy for his trauma? I feel like he really needs to go to therapy for his trauma, to help with his overthinking, his anxiety over situations. And in the part where he thought that Jasmina cut him off, what she said was like, she has to make sure that they really like each other. And so to his anxiety, he's already overthinking, oh my gosh, I really want my wife to like me. Now she's saying, I gotta make sure, she has to make sure does she like me? Is this so that was his anxiety kicking in. Do you have anything else to say about that?
No, we should definitely move on.
Okay, because we still have two more couples.
Katina,
and Katina
and Olajuwon,
yes,
what you call Olajuwon.
Olajuwon.
So first things first, apparently he sweats a lot. I thought about turning on the AC, which
and so that's me and him
with
yesterday, because let me tell you something about this man William. Okay, last night the room wasn't even hot, but he was sweating and he was hot, and I had to turn off the heater because he was so hot. He was making me hot. Like my side of the bed, it wasn't hot, but I realized it was his body heat. So I literally had to turn over because his body heat was like. So I feel your pain, Katina. I feel your pain.
Yes. Hold on, before you go in, because I know you're excited to get in. I want to bring up how Steve. Steve said that Olajuwon is misunderstood, and a lot of people.
And I've been saying that.
Yeah.
So Steve, during the after party, mentioned how Olajuwon is misunderstood. Let's actually save that to
Go ahead. Say your next point. Go ahead.
Another point. So we're gonna table that, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I put they are the poster couple for Fashion Nova. They are like a ratchet couple made in heaven. And I'm gonna be real. They are just a class. They have a pretty bow on them, but trust me, they are that ratchet couple, and I'm cool with it. They always do that Married at First Sight with. I don't know if you noticed. There's like a pattern. They always have like a bougie black couple and a ratchet black couple every season. Obviously, last year and the year before they didn't do that because they didn't have. They had two like. Oh, anyway, but normally it's always they've been doing that since they've done 4 and 5 people. But when they were in the gym, I wanted to cry. I was like, I literally said I would cry if I was married to some person that was forcing me to exercise like that. And then I remembered Christine from Married at First Sight Philly. Remember, she was making Keith work out on their honeymoon, but she was serious. Come to find out, Ola Jawan was playing. He purposely pushed her button. I saw some people were upset that why. Oh, that's scary. Why would he want to purposely push her button? Have you seen Katina? Sometimes she has the personality of a wet mop. Sometimes she's like, okay, like she barely.
Yeah.
She's not articulate,
Yeah.
and so I think Ola Jawan, because remember, their wedding day, the family said she will speak up. And we haven't seen that side of Katina. So I think Ola Jawan said he wanted that. He wanted a woman who had a personality, who talked and stuff. So he wanted to see how, if that was true about her. So yes, would I have done that approach? No, but I get it because she does have the personality of a wet mom sometimes.
And I think so. There's a few things going on in my mind right now. So yes, I understand. At first, I didn't know what was going on, but I think this is what makes Olajuwon different and misunderstood, because no one would have really seen that coming. He wanted his wife to be able to communicate with him. He had good intentions. The way he go about his intentions, right? That's a conversation we can all have. But I think in that moment, he wanted her to be honest and tell me if it was bothering you or not. And I think so. For what I'm seeing with him, he's actually Lindsay. They're both the same, meaning like they're both open. They're both gonna say what's on their mind. You know what I mean? And you can easily argue Lindsay is misunderstood as well. Even though I feel like hers can be a little bit more for attention.
Exactly.
Where he may think like he's like,
and
I'm doing this for the right reasons.
Remember, Ola Jawan has ADHD. One of the symptoms for ADHD is not being able to read the room, not being able to take social cues. So when they were sitting around talking about sexual experiences and certain stuff that he talks about, he said it. He has ADHD. So you also have to keep that in mind about him and look at him from that lens as well.
And it's probably why they both clash so quickly.
Who? Lindsay and
because
now they get along.
They're both probably like road dogs. Like they're probably like both like some sort of like, I don't want to use the word leader, but like
alpha. I don't think it's that. I think they clash because maybe I think Lindsay also may be suffering that, but with that, but
yeah.
But
you're gonna bring up the threesome conversation.
I am, but I wanted to say, so that whole excursion they were on. We talked about it when we were talking about Lindsay and Mark, but I made a comment and I said Katina is hot-headed and a grudge holder. I said that last week because she still was seeing red with Lindsay from when they were at the airport. It's 3 days past. Your husband said get over it, and you're still holding on to that grudge. And in the future, that's a red flag for their relationship because that means she's probably gonna do that with Olajuwon when there's trouble. So I wanted to just make note of that. And then if you want to bring up the threesome, we know Olajuwon.
No, it's like it was a question that they brought up.
And honestly, at the after party, Olajuwon, Katina called Olajuwon because Keisha said call Olajuwon so he could explain the situation. And I get it. So basically, his cousin was cheated on or disrespected or something by her boyfriend, and he was actually defending his cousin. So instead of fighting this guy who hurt his cousin, he remembers that his cousin's boyfriend said his mother likes to act young. So to get back and hurt his cousin's boyfriend, he slept with the mother. And the mother was like, "Oh, let me teach you some stuff."
I don't think they want to hear all that.
No, but I'm just saying how that situation.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The situation happened for him to get revenge for his cousin.
Yeah.
Basically, that's so now let's bring back Steve. And Steve during the after party was talking about how Olajuwon is misunderstood, and I think that those kind of things are misunderstood, and his approach to things are like crazy. But I feel like him and Katina are the same person. I feel like they both were out in the streets before Corona. They both said when the pandemic hit, they realized they wanted to settle
And
down.
one thing I want to bring up before we move on from this couple and close out with the last two. For some reason it doesn't feel real to me still.
What?
No, here's why. As far as Olajuwon, his like the way he's approaching it is real, but I feel like Katina's like in a dull moment.
That's
like,
why he provoked her at the gym. But that's why he provoked.
Is this really happening?
But that's why she's a little. She's not.
Guys, I'm crying. Do you see my tears?
No, but that's why he provoked
it
her
just
at
kind
the
of
gym.
seemed fake.
I think she's a little slow.
Well,
And
also he probably.
I think he provoked her at the gym because, like I said, sometimes she has the
Or
personality.
could
and
it be like? Could it be like he? I don't want to say he's going too hard because it comes off like that. You know what I mean? Like he's
No, I think
trying to impress her. I feel like he's kind of like trying to sell this. I moved on. This it's all you now, and she is like trying to digest that, but at the same time, I'm not feeling like she's like really trusting him 100%.
I don't think no. I think she really is. Especially at the end of the episode, she was crying. She said she wishes this for
I didn't
everybody.
buy that.
I bought it. I think that
I wouldn't even buy that with. Okay,
No, I think
yeah.
but that's why he provoked her. I think sometimes she may not be. I don't want to call her slow, but she may be a little.
See, that's what I was at just. I'm like duh.
But she is like that. And I'm not trying to be mean. You guys know.
Would you use that to describe me? Because sometimes you call me. You like sometimes the way I just be looking and I. Would you say?
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
me?
certain people. I feel like.
Okay, let's not get deeper into
Okay, we don't
this.
need to get deeper into that, but I think that they're genuine, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm rooting for Olajuwon. Yeah, he had a past, but so did Katina. She just doesn't talk about it because Olajuwon is loud enough for the both of them, and that's why she doesn't blink an eye, because they are the same person. Trust and believe that. And Olajuwon noticed it. And I think that he is going to settle down with her. Steve Harvey once said that, yes, men cheat, but if the man finds the right woman, he's not. And I think that he really found a partner. Because he doesn't have to change who he is. She takes him for who he is.
That is
his
true.
Craziness. She doesn't judge him for being Isaac. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't ever like get embarrassed. Like, you think besides Lindsay, if any of the other women had a husband like that, they would just be cool with it like Katina? No.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay, last couple.
yes, so we're gonna go to Noi and Steve. All right, so one thing that wasn't shown on the show, which again I wish that they showed, but they talked about in the after party. Alyssa's psychic basically described Steve, but she could have been. Maybe she saw a vision of the whole cast, and she was like, "Oh, that's probably her husband." I don't know, but so Alyssa's husband a psychic described Steve, and it wasn't an eagle; it was a lion tattoo, and she told Chris's groomsmen. And apparently at the airport, Noi was crying and really upset because she found out that Alyssa had her eye on Steve, and so Alyssa changed the tattoo from being an eagle tattoo to a lion tattoo, which is what Steve has on his chest, to an eagle tattoo.
So she don't hurt what's her name's feelings.
Yes, exactly. So I wanted to say that, but overall, this couple has a great connection. They didn't have sex yet, but I believe they will.
There was a small concern.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Small concern about when they were playing Have You Ever?
But okay, so I think there were certain things. So they were getting along, and then Steve is Mr. Let me pack up and drive a van across the country. And Steve got mad that she didn't like camping. She was like, "Oh, I don't like to sleep outside."
I wasn't talking about
No,
that
I know what you were talking about.
Okay,
but
go ahead.
I think that played a role. So there were certain things in their conversation
that triggered her.
That triggered him.
But wait, she put her heart on the line for him earlier.
I know.
So I think
they're first of all, I think.
Oh yeah, you're right. They're both. I feel like they're both.
I think they both like each other, but there's certain stuff that Steve was like, well, I always wanted to camp out on the beach. She doesn't like to camp out on the beach. So that made him pull back a little bit. We're like, this is like 3 days in. And that was a turnoff for him. No, I don't think anybody has discussed that, but that was a turnoff for him. And so when Noi, like later that day, said that she told the producers that she was falling in love with him, his response was okay. And so that hurt her feelings.
Yeah.
But he's a guy. Sometimes guys just don't, think.
And when when the question came up about them cheating on their exes,
Steve raised his hand, but guess what? Noi cheated, but she didn't tell the whole
but
group.
but at that in that moment, I'm looking at it as, ooh, Steve's in trouble.
But guess what?
And kind of find out
she's a cheater too. But guess what? They both understood each other. That's why I said I feel like this
and
couple 100% is going to be
1, 2, 3
together,
got over it,
because they were young. I figured with both of them, it was probably both when they were young. They were young.
And when that happened, I was like, oh, there's trouble in Houston. I mean, wait, I was like,
Boston?
No, wait. Houston, we have a problem.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I actually wrote that whole thing in my notes. But anyway, yeah, so let's close out.
All right, so that's all. If you stayed
guys.
for all 45 minutes of this,
thank you. Please like, subscribe,
comment. Please comment. Please,
yes,
and like.
Indeed. I'm Will.
I'm Tamar.
And thanks, guys.